Okay, so let's talk about community college. What is a community college? And I'm going to do that. I'm going to explain community colleges by comparing them to traditional 4-year universities. So, number one, community colleges have what are called 2-year associate's degrees. Those are the first 2 years of a bachelor's degree. Whereas universities have 4-year bachelor's degrees and even have graduate degrees like master degree programs and PhD programs. Number two, applications for admission to a community college are simple and open to everybody. Our application at Shoreline Community College takes about 30 minutes to complete, and we accept all students. In contrast, applications at a university are often complicated. You have to write many essays, you need to submit many documents, and they're competitive. It is not a guarantee that you will get in, right? Number three, classes at community colleges are only taught by professors. That's really important because at a university, classes can be taught by a professor, but they can also be taught by a teaching assistant who is not much older or not much more experienced than you are. So the quality of education can vary. And number four, all community colleges are public, which means we get our funding from state and federal governments, whereas universities can be public, like the University of California system, for example, are all public universities. But many universities are also private as well. And private universities are oftentimes more expensive for tuition and other expenses related to the college. So we talked about what is a community college. Now I want to talk about why you should go to a community college. Number one, tuition is oftentimes a lot lower compared to a university. For example, and we'll talk more about this later, our tuition at Shoreline Community College is about $11,000 a year, compared to many 4-year universities that are $40,000, $50,000, and $60,000 a year. However, I do want to state that a lower tuition does not mean lower quality of education. Many community colleges, including Shoreline Community College, still offer a really good education for the first 2 years of your bachelor's degree, and you save a lot of money by coming to a community college first. Number two, smaller class sizes. At Shoreline Community College, for example, our class sizes range between 24 to 30 students. That's around the size of a typical high school class, right? So you have a lot of opportunities to build relationships with other classmates, but also, and very importantly, with your professor. Many 4-year universities are not like this. I remember when I was in university at the University of Washington, my first and second year classes often had 300, 400, and 500 other students, which meant that it was very hard to see the professor. It was almost impossible to have a relationship with my professor because I was competing against hundreds of other students in the same class. Number three is more support. Many community colleges offer direct support from academic advisors, tutoring centers, office hours with your professors. And because we are a lot smaller in size, you're able to access those resources more often and have a longer amount of time to spend with each resource. And because of that, often we are seeing that students that come to community colleges first have a higher chance of success. For example, at Shoreline Community College, students who graduate, on average, have a GPA of 3.6 after their second year at our community college. Number four, and we'll talk a little more about this later, but our English language programs. Many community colleges, such as Shoreline Community College, have programs for students who first want to improve their English to then be able to take college level classes and succeed at those classes. And I'll tell you more about Shoreline's English language program later. Number 5, we talked about this in the previous slide. The application is easy. It's simple. There, for example, are no TOEFL or SAT scores required, no minimum GPA, and that is because we want our community college to be open for everyone. Anyone can come, they can get a good education, and on average, graduate with a 3.6 GPA. And number 6, this is very important, is what is called 2+2 transfer, which means you do your first 2 years at a community college and finish your bachelor's degree, that's a 4-year degree, at a good university. So let's talk more about 2+2. So like I said, you start at a community college. You are taking typically 90 quarter credits, which is about 15 credits each quarter. All right. I should say that compared to some colleges which have a semester system, 2 semesters, 1 year, our community college has a quarter system, which is 4 quarters, 1 year. Okay. And during your first 2 years at Shoreline, you will take general education classes. These are classes that all students need to take, no matter your major, like math and English literature and science, right? You are also able to take the prerequisite classes for your major, right? So if you want to study business, you can take business classes at Shoreline. If you want to study engineering, you can take engineering classes at Shoreline. And you will graduate with a 2-year associate's degree and then transfer to a 4-year university. Now, at the 4-year university, you will enter, on average, with a 3rd-year junior standing, right? Because you already did your first 2 years at a community college. At the 4-year university, you will now only focus on classes for your major, no more general education classes, because you already did those at the community college. And by the time you graduate, you will have a bachelor's degree in computer science, in business and engineering, whatever major you want to study, that is the degree you will graduate with. And your diploma will still have the name of the 4-year university that you finished your degree at. So let's look at Shoreline Community College's associate degree areas of study. Now, we have over 90 areas of study, 90 subjects that you can study at our college. And on this list, I've included about 40 or 50 of them that are well designed for 2+2 transfer. And among these areas of study, you can see in big, black, bold letters, very common and popular degrees for international students. So accounting, biology, business, computer science, video game design, graphic design, marketing, psychology, and many more opportunities. There are many more opportunities for you to study these subjects and others at our college. Now, once you have finished your 2-year degree, your associate's degree at Shoreline Community College, where can you transfer? Well, here are some of the universities that our students have transferred to recently. This year, as in 2025, we had 11 students transfer to UC Berkeley. We also have a lot of students transfer to the University of Washington here in Seattle. That's where I went to college. And many other good universities, such as New York University, UC Davis, Arizona State University. But what's important to know is that you are not limited to just those universities. Depending on your GPA, depending on your major, depending on your interests, right? You can transfer to over 200 other universities around the United States. Okay, so in English we have this idiom. It goes like this: The world is your oyster, okay? What that means is if you have a goal, if you want to be successful and you take the steps to be successful, you will have many opportunities ahead of you. So come to Shoreline, right? And transfer to many good universities across the country.